Entrepreneurs, and welcome to today's episode of Entrepreneurship, your podcast about the soul-driven life approach for entrepreneurship and soulpreneurship.
Are you a soulpreneur?
Kind of. Maybe. Yes, I am. I am a soulpreneur.
I think I'm as well. Even though I have a business partner and I have a team, but sometimes I don't.
But
depends.
your team is like, they're freelancers, right?
Yes.
It's quite the same for me. They are not people that works for you, and you're not like having this big Christmas corporate party with all of those people because they're living in different countries, they're having their own things, they're kind of also solopreneurs.
Yes.
So
I'm striving for this. No
Yeah.
office, no employees type of business.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is how I operate myself as well.
Yeah, now many businesses are going this way. There's even conferences about this, fully remote, fully without an actual team, but with like a virtual consultant, freelance base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about connections.
Yeah.
Yes, and right, because we are partly or mostly solopreneurs, we are not quite sure, but yes, because we are solopreneurs and we definitely know how important it is to have those connections.
The meaningful connections, especially when you're so disconnected. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I feel completely alone.
Yes, I feel the same.
It's like I'm a Don Quixote fighting there with emails instead of windmills in the windy, dark Holland. I'm just there by myself. My kids are at school. My husband's working somewhere, I don't know where, or traveling. And I'm just all alone. And that's why these connections are so important. Sometimes I push myself to have those connections.
Yes, it's crazy because, I know exactly how you feel because 2 years ago, almost, no, I'm not quite sure, 2 years ago, let's say so, I just broke up with my then boyfriend and I started living in a new place. I started like going all around, like going out with new people around me. As I started like trying to connect with different communities, and it was a hard journey, but it was a good thing. It was something that helped me to find myself and to feel much better for where I used to be in this point of my life. So, cheers to soulpreneurship. And today we are going to say cheers with our peach mocktails. And those peach mocktails are something like a symbol of like partying with family and friends. So, cheers for that.
Just for that. I have so many friends now that don't drink alcohol, and it completely changes the dynamics of socializing.
Yes.
Yeah. And it went from being awkward to being normal.
Yes.
And I remember the first family friends that stopped alcohol. They felt like they need to take that glass of wine, so they're not explaining themselves, and then they leave it on the table because they don't want these questions. Why are you not drinking? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you pregnant?
Pregnant is my favorite one. Yes.
This called pressure.
Yes.
Just leave me alone. I'm just not drinking. And I sometimes don't drink during social events, and I feel so good afterwards. I mean, it's difficult not to drink, especially if people are having wine or there's bubbles and oysters, certain foods, you want to combine them with certain wines.
Yes.
But those connections are, having those real friends that you're not surrounding yourself with people who are going to judge you. And 2 weeks ago, one of my friends graduated from being a yoga teacher, so we all went to yoga together. It was like a social thing. So first we went to yoga, then we had a meal, and we only had sparkling water, all of us, and we talked about our plans, all ambitious ladies. And two of them completely stopped alcohol. They look amazing, they feel amazing, super energized. And two of us are trying to stop completely. And one just came back from stop to drinking occasionally. It was such a nice conversation. And I was a little bit jealous. I was like, oh, I also want to be like standing there and saying, I'm not drinking at all, and owning it, you know. I think it's great to surround yourself also with people that just give you this extra boost to go further and to look at the positive way, and not to be complaining and whining and wanting to change, but you don't do it. I have one friend that, you know, it's just a constant circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I cannot help her. She's just doesn't want to help herself, and yeah, so I try to help myself, and I share. Okay, maybe yeah, this is what I do. I share my routines and my things, and it just frustrates her even further. So yeah, we stop seeing each other so often. So now I surround myself with people who we look at the world in the same way, in a way. I mean, I'm there for you if you call me, if you need me, but yeah.
Yeah, I deeply resonate with it, with this, because, you know, uh, when you grow up with certain people, for example, and when you outgrow them in some ways, for example, mentally, and you're in a different place in life than them, outgrowing does necessarily means that you're in a better position than them. They're probably in a good position for themselves, but they are going to tell you, for example, this is something I heard from friends of mine that told me, you changed so bad, you changed. Like, I feel like many people use the change as with a bad connotation,
Yeah.
like it's something bad. But I feel, different people are good for you in different parts, moments of your life. For example, those people that you grow up with, yes, you had the best childhood, for example, with them. But at certain point, you have different interests in your life. And there is nothing bad about it. And
Yeah.
you should not like blame this person that he's in a different position right now.
Yeah.
And it's very, very important, as you said, to surround yourself with people that you feel good with and that are good to you
Yeah.
and your mental health, physical health, and etc.
Yeah. Yeah, and also for me, it's so important to have my relationship outside of the family.
Yes.
So it's my own relationships. So I have this girlfriend. She's Asian and she's fantastic. She's great in everything she does. It's like excellence. But she's also so grounded, and every time I see her, I'm inspired. So I come home and I share with my husband. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about raising children. I want to talk about reaching your levels of consciousness. So every time I come back with some kind of topic, as if I've been listening to a 1 hour podcast, I'm also the same. When I listen to something interesting, I'm like, listen, we have to talk about this. You know, we need to implement this into our life and things like that. And it's so inspiring. I look forward. She picks me up sometimes. We go together to yoga. Before we would come together, we're drinking, we're eating. I'm not interested in that anymore. Now I want like an experience. So we
Yes.
go and we do something. We either climb a mountain, or we go to yoga, or we go and do some voluntary work. So we're doing something, and afterwards maybe we sit down and we celebrate with a drink or some food. And also going out, just looking for an extra experience, something meaningful, something which is it's full-hearted.
Yes, and about the going out thing, it's many people. I think there are many people in like the two ends of the thing, like the people who love to go out, and the other people who never goes out, and it's not good to be there. Like it's not good to isolate yourself from people, because being a solopreneur often leads to this situation when you feel nobody understands you,
Yeah.
you are absolutely alone. And often, on the business side, probably your friends who have their corporate job, for example, they have a salary, and you don't have this thing. You either have a client or not. You're losing a client or something like this, or you're investing in something in your business, and you, at certain point of your business, you don't have those like finances that you feel safe with them. You don't have those money that, okay, this month I have, for example, 5Ks. So yes, as a solopreneur, you often feels like nobody understands you, and you stay at home. You spend most of your time by yourself, like only working on your business, waiting until the moment it grows and you're already successful. But it's absolutely, I would say, for me, it was a part of my life that I wasn't feeling happy at all. It was when I worked in this advertising agency, because I loved what I was doing back then. And during this time, I was trying to start my own thing. I was studying in university, and I was all about work. And my friends, they were like partying a lot. They were doing their university life things and those kind of stuff. And I was like, nobody of those people understands me. Nobody understands what I'm going through. And I was like working until 3 a.m. and I was going crazy. And there was this moment when I haven't seen my family and friends for 6 months. 6 months. I was like going to the office, going to university sometimes, and getting back home.
Crazy.
And it's crazy. I would say for me it was absolutely unhealthy. And going out, starting meeting people, starting going to those like networking events, meeting with those communities, this was like a breaking point in my life, because these communities, those people, first of all, they made me feel like, oh, I'm not alone. There are people that are going through this just like me, and there are another people who makes me laugh a lot, that I feel like this is my pleasure and plaything. I'm relaxing, I'm having fun, I stop thinking about those things that I'm concerned about. So going out and not isolating yourself is very important, building those connections.
Absolutely. When I went to the first networking event of entrepreneurs, the Entrepreneurs Organization, my business partner invited me, and she kept talking about this EO. I'm like, what is this, like a sect? Why does she keep on talking about it? Why is it so important? And then I joined one of their events, which was called Open Your Mind. It was in Amsterdam. And the first lecture that I heard was a very successful guy who's been a businessman for many years. He has, I don't know, more than 1 million turnover. And he kept talking about the imposter syndrome. How as a business owner, you keep doubting yourself. Am I good enough? Can I speak in front of people? Do people respect me? Can I do this? Can I actually be what I'm trying to be? And then I realized all these successful people, they all have the imposter syndrome, which I have. And I will never get rid of this imposter syndrome, even if I'm on the cover of Forbes. You know, it just stays with you. And then surrounding yourself and showing your weaknesses. I love also these fuck up nights where people come together and they talk about their fuck ups. It's amazing. It's not about only success stories. It's also about the fuck ups and being genuine. And these 3 days, all these people, like millionaires, they were with their sneakers, completely, they surrendered and they showed their weaknesses and they were curious about what I do, what everybody's doing. And I was like, what a great bunch of people. And I joined the accelerator program where we learn about different techniques how to be a better entrepreneur. So this was, like a milestone. And then I realized we can never be in the same position as people who have corporate. We can never be understood.
Yes.
And I don't talk about business with my friends who work in corporate. If they want to share something, of course, usually it's a relationship problem, a connection problem that we talk about. But we focus on other things, that our hobbies, our interests, our mindfulness, or the books that we're reading, so things like that. Although in Holland, the first 5 minutes when you meet somebody, they ask you, what do you do and what business do you have and how much money do you make? Even before they ask you for your name. It's crazy, these cultural differences, but I'm used to that already. And forcing and looking for this relationship, it's crucial. And also the social thing. Before, when I was in corporate, I had so much energy to constantly throw dinners at home. So I would invite all my friends and their kids. And it's actually crazy because now I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves? So you have the kids. So imagine 6 kids are screaming.
Oh.
And there's also probably TV or some video game. And we are trying to eat at the table, and we're trying to have adult conversation. And you've cooked all day to have this explosion of noise. And then you get completely drunk or something, you drink all the wine, and then you pass out. No, not anymore. I cannot have such evenings anymore. So now we either go somewhere without the kids where you can actually have a conversation in a smaller group, where you can have genuine conversation with people, look at them in the eyes. And I hate when there's a conversation on the table and these two are having one conversation and this another. It drives me crazy.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a mess. We're all together.
Because of the noise?
Yeah, and we're all together, the 4 of us. And it's nice that together we have this conversation. And it's very difficult here in the Balkans to have this. But in Holland, it's quite normal that people, you're a little bit more proper on the table. In the Balkans, food is flying, people are walking around. In Holland, when you have a meal, first of all, everybody's sitting, you wait, everybody's there, it's quiet, then you all start at the same time. And, quietly, and you talk to each other. This is what I love now. We can all share. So I would like, if there's another family with our family, that we share the experience with my husband. Otherwise, I can go out with my girlfriend and have that conversation. I don't need to have this meal with 2 couples if we're all going to be like, having different connections on the table.
Talking about the going out with your girlfriends, there is something else that came up to my mind. That there are, situations when, for example, you're starting dating someone and everything is so amazing, and you're spending all of your time just with this person, building your relationship and
Yeah.
connecting only with him or her. And at that current point, there is on the another side, there are your friends, and they're like, oh, you forgot us
Yeah.
because of your girlfriend, boyfriend, and your family calling you like,
Yeah.
you haven't called us for so long, or those kind of things.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that I think is very important about the connections, the balance in it. So this is very, for me, it was this moment when I have like 5 to 6 friends of mine that are like really close to me. They are not people that I'm seeing every other day, because life works this
Yeah.
way. It's absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
But even if we haven't spoke for 3 months, when we see each other, we are like, oh, everything is like
Like it was
like it was
yesterday.
there. Yeah, absolutely. So uh, every time when we feel like we are losing those connections with our friends, for example, telling Nick, you should meet your friend Georgi, for example. I don't know. You should meet Georgi. You haven't seen him for a long time. You need this time with your friend. And he's doing absolutely the same thing for me. He's like, oh, you and your girlfriends, because I have this group of friends that we are traveling around the world together. We are having those Italian summer vacations or Greece summer vacations, Spain, and he's like, oh, you should go on vacation with your girls. After those vacations, you feel very relaxed, very happy. So I feel like balance is also extremely important in your connections,
Yes.
in your life. Because this way you feel like you feel this fulfillment,
Yeah.
because you've been yourself with your partner, you've been yourself with your girlfriends, because you're different with every person you are with, because he's taking something else out of you.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. So yeah, this is amazing, and it's something that every person should remind himself. I should spend time with my family, but I also should spend time with my friends, but I also should spend time with my partner, and I also should spend time with myself.
Yes, absolutely. Connection with yourself. I was so happy a few weeks ago. I was driving in my new car and I was listening to music and I was just so happy. Just me and myself and my music. And
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody. Yara singing in her car.
yeah,
Oh.
connection with yourself, absolutely. And with the family. Have you heard of the Blue Zone?
No, what is it?
So there's the Blue Zone diet where everybody talks about. So it's these few zones in the world where people live extremely healthy, happy, long life. And they've analyzed this. It's somewhere in Japan, somewhere in Greece, like a village in Greece, and in Singapore and a few other places. And why they've analyzed why are these people so happy and living so long and so healthy? And there was a few factors. One was growing your own food, but one of the most important things is the social connection. And especially in Singapore, what struck me is that the government is encouraging you, if you start your own family, to live close to your mom and dad, so that you can be there for them. And they even give you money if you buy your new house in a certain radius to your family, so you can live in one community. And in this way, they made a research that much less people go to hospitals or elderly homes. People stay healthier and happier for a longer time because they have their family close by, and the family love and the family connection. And even if you come together and like Balkan style, you eat and everybody's screaming at the table, you still feel energized and you feel that love. You know, you've prepared this food with so much love. So all your children came to, to celebrate with you.
This is so beautiful. I've never heard of this.
Mm.
It's so cool.
There's a documentary on Netflix about the blue zones.
I should watch it.
I love documentaries.
Yes, I also love. But
Yeah.
I'm watching like documentaries for, for food poisons and nanoplastics.
That's awesome. I usually watch a documentary when I'm having lunch by myself in the office.
Okay.
So I watch a few minutes of my documentary and I have my lunch, and then I don't feel so lonely.
Another part of entrepreneurship is that you're often spending your time alone during the day.
Yeah, but sometimes, Friday night, you feel so exhausted. It's been such a busy week, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any desire to see these people or go out. My friends, they invited us to this and this place. But then when I do, afterwards, I feel so happy and so relaxed, like I've been to the spa.
Yes.
I've just had a very nice evening. I was laughing. We sometimes cry together, and sometimes we drink, sometimes we don't, and it's wonderful. What is this raw honey ball?
Yes.
How
It's
was
good
it?
actually. It's very sweet, but not like a bittersweet. It's nice. I like it.
So, what's your favorite thing to do with your friends?
What exactly? I think hiking. We love to hike. Me and Nick, we hike every weekend, and often we invite friends. For example, we invite friends of ours from Sigma community, Sigma Squared, because we are both part of it. And yeah, I think this is the main thing. We love to have dinners with friends in a good restaurants. Of course, having this great pasta with truffles and all those delicious things. But yeah, hikes are better. What about you?
I usually love lately to combine it. So first we do some physical exercise together, and then we celebrate and with a nice lunch. Or usually I prefer the daytime activities. Also, I've discovered now I go to these festivals in the Netherlands,
Okay.
and they're during the day. So they start from 12, and it needs to be good weather. And they're outside, maybe in the woods, and you're dancing until 11 at night. And then you go home and you have a very nice sleep for 12 hours if you must. And then you can wake up and go to do your physical exercise. So you're not wasting a whole day of recovering.
That's amazing. Daily parties.
Yes.
I love it.
Last time I went to these Gardens of Babylon, it was a party in like an old camping. There was a lake. Everybody was dressed like we're in Woodstock. So you just transform yourself into a different reality. And yeah, people are not like 16, but with different age groups, and you can see they were, taking care of themselves, all these beautiful bodies, costumes, makeup. You transform yourself into a different place.
That's amazing. It's also about the different kind of connections you have and the different emotions and feelings that you feel from those connections, and it's very beautiful.
Absolutely.
And let's wrap this episode. It was a great journey for us, finding out what are the best kind of connections for us, how to balance them, and how to live our lives on the fullest.
Absolutely. And just like at social events, you have to talk with your mouth full.
Yes, it happens all the time. Oh, yeah.
Especially
okay.
when they serve you this little, like a small
bites.
Yeah, finger food, and
Finger
you
food.
shove it all at once, and then somebody comes, oh, how are you? Bad moment.
Okay, guys, thank you for being. It was very nice to see you once again.
Very nice to see you.
And namaste.